You know that little voice in your head that does not leave you alone, that's always judging and criticizing every little thing that you do or say? That little voice is your inner critic, and your inner critic is shaping your reality in some very negative ways that we're going to get into today. I'm going to share with you a personal story of me currently moving through this in my own life and how I took myself so deep into my psyche to transform the inner critic, the inner judger. I'm going to support you with some tools and some ways that you can take yourself deeper into yourself to find some healing and to see your reality shift in a more positive way, to see your mindset shift in a more positive way, and to allow more intimacy and connection with the human beings around you. You're going to want to stick around because this is going to be so juicy and so deep, and you're going to leave out of this, whether it's the video that you're watching or the podcast that you're listening to, with so much more awareness and so much more knowing on what to do to silence this inner critic. All right, so let's get into it. So I'll first begin with my story. I am moving through a season of deeper, deeper understanding of who I am. There's been a lot of triggers that I'm not necessarily ready to talk about yet that are showing up in my life. And triggers are just catalysts. They are here to support you in understanding yourself deeper. They are mirrors to where there's still incomplete energy, incomplete emotions that are needing your love, your acceptance, and your expression to alchemize, to transform. And so these certain triggers that are happening in my life are really starting to trigger my human survival mechanisms. And I am experiencing things where I'm like, I thought I was over this. How am I here again? And that's the beautiful thing about healing, is that it's like peeling layers in an onion. You're always going to be peeling back layers and layers and layers. And each layer is just taking you deeper into your fullest self. It's just taking you deeper into your soul's essence, into truth. And there's nothing more powerful than that. So, the women that I work with and myself, we are devoted to that path. We are so devoted to that path because we know that we came here to experience life to the fullest. And why the fuck not allow ourselves to move through the subconscious programming and the tension living in our bodies that are stopping us from that? Why the fuck not, right? If you're wanting to be a healthier version of yourself, you're going to need to eat better foods. You're going to need to exercise. You're going to need to do things to be healthy, to feel healthy, to have your dream rockin' body. Well, the same thing happens when you are here and you know that your soul is meant to come alive in this life and that you're meant to experience deep fulfillment and manifest your dreams. It's going to take work. It's going to take inner work. And it's beautiful. It doesn't have to be scary. If anything, it gives you so much more awareness and safety knowing that, like, you're not fucking crazy. You're not just an anxious mess. You don't need to slap medications over you. You're just a human being who is feeling sensations and vibrations, moving through them because the body is communicating what's ready to be released. And that is powerful as fuck. To see yourself grow and to activate more of your voice, more of your expression, more love and intimacy with the humans around you. There's nothing in my eyes more fucking powerful than that. So yeah, it's going to take some work. It's going to take your devotion. And that's why I love working with women, and also just being in spaces where women are like, fuck yeah, let's go into these places and let's liberate ourselves. Right. So anyways, I've been moving through a wild experience of that. And so the other morning, little backstory, traveled from Italy. I was in Italy for 2.5 months, if you don't know that by now. And I came back to the States. I'm staying at my partner's grandma for the holidays. We're going to see my family for the holidays. And then we're not really unsure what we're going to do from there. Anyways, it was the other morning, 2 days ago. And I was experiencing, as soon as I landed back in the States, these triggers just started to come alive even more. And I was like, fuck, I need to sit with myself and really connect and just feel. Feeling is healing. It's powerful as fuck. And so the other morning, I woke up at like 3 a.m. because I was still jet lagged. And I put on some meditation music. I did a little bit of breath work. And I took myself through the same liberation process that I take my clients through. And I'll give you a little gist of that today so you can try it on your own as well. So you're going to want to stick around for that because that's going to be really powerful. So I took myself through the liberation process. And I went into my body and I started asking myself deep questions, and I started to move energy, and I started to feel emotions and uncovering layers and layers and layers. I was there for like an hour and a half. And the thing about the liberation process that's so cool is that we uncover the bricks that are covering your truth, that are covering your intuitive knowing, that are covering the answer that you're looking for, the piece of clarity that you're looking for. They're just existing underneath a lot of emotional tension. And so through the liberation process, we just go into the emotional tension and we remove that so we can access truth. And it's really fucking cool because you don't have to be externalizing your power anymore. You can actually learn how to access your own intuitive knowing. And it's epic. And so through that liberation process, I went deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I uncovered a part of myself that was judging this person that I follow on Instagram, just like so hard. And so I let that part have a voice. And I just said everything out loud that I felt towards this person. And I asked myself, okay, so what is beneath this? And I got so deep in my psyche. I've never experienced this with any plant medicine, with any breath work, with anything. I just took myself so deep into my psyche, into my mind, and I just felt the energy of judgment. And I welcomed it and I allowed it. And it was so fucking intense. It made me feel like I needed to puke, like I needed to throw up. I like fell down to the floor and felt the heaviness on my back and just experienced these flashes of memories of all of the times that I've judged myself, the world, and how much that judgment was creating a huge barrier between me, myself, and between me and the world. I'm going to try my hardest to put words to this, but it's something that has to be felt. It is insane. And it made me really think how many of us are constantly judging ourselves and judging other people, judging everything that we do. And with what I felt in my body, the density, the heaviness of this energy, I can't imagine what it's doing for people in their lives. It is really creating a lot of disconnection in our world. And so as I sat with this energy and I felt this energy, I was in the depths of it. I was just letting it be here and crying and releasing. It felt like I was releasing like lifetimes of pain from just judgment. And afterwards, I just felt this completion and this freedom, this lightness. I even feel it now in my voice and my expression because I no longer feel this energy of like, what is the other person on the other side of this podcast going to be thinking about me? How do I need to place this in a way that's going to make it make sense? I feel free. And I wanted to talk about this with you because I want this liberation for you too. That is just the natural way that energy moves through me. I am deeply devoted to being a steward of healing and embodiment in the world. And I feel like I have no choice. It's what I'm here for. Like, I know I'm here for this and it's my calling. And being able to just feel into these energies and make art out of them and talk to people about them and support my clients with them is fucking epic. It is quite the path, but it's fucking epic. And so I wanted to have a conversation with you about judgment because it is really holding you back more than you even know. But I want to preface this by saying also that you don't have to shame yourself for having judgment, because we're human beings and we all have judgment. However, if this judgment, this inner critic, is fragmenting us, meaning splitting us from our own self, from who we really are, then it's creating a problem. And that is what was happening with me. This judgment piece was I embodied it so deeply, and it was such a split part of myself, and it was so unconscious. And it really, really showed me just a deeper part of myself. So what I was getting at with that is, if you find yourself, okay, let's go back a little bit. What I'm noticing now is that that voice is there, but it has no power over me. And that's the fucking power of embodiment. It doesn't mean it completely goes away, because you have to think about your brain having neural pathways that have been conditioned to think that way for a long time. But when this is living so deep in you and you've embodied it unconsciously and it has power over you, it feels like you can't do anything mentally. You can't even talk to it because it has a hold on you. There are many different emotions and things, dense energies that do that. So with what I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to help you become more aware, but the true work is getting into the body and being able to move this energy around, because that is what's going to silence the voice and turn on your truth more. So it's like a radio station. You're going to turn off the station of the inner critic, and you're going to turn the volume down of the inner critic FM. And then you're going to turn up the volume of intuitive, truthful, authentic you FM. And so that doesn't mean that sometimes there's not going to be a little bit of static and you might go into Inner Critic FM, but Inner Critic FM is going to be way lower than Truth FM. And when you go into that and you allow your truth to be louder, then your truth can speak to the inner critic and say, we're over that. Remember? We went deep into our bodies. We went deep into our psyches. We moved through that. We had the release. We're over that. And it leaves in an instant. And I'm talking about a part of me that, like, I tried everything. I tried the mindset work. I've tried listening to YouTubes and more podcasts about it. I've tried every fucking thing, because this judgment piece, this inner critic, was the reason why I started my journey anyways, because I felt like everyone was always judging me. And then I realized it was because I was judging everybody. And this has been with me for so fucking long. And now, being at my partner's family's house, all the ways that I was judging them, gone. The way that I was judging my partner, gone. We went out to eat. We went out to eat yesterday, my partner and I, and we smoked a little bit of cannabis. And typically that would have thrown me into crazy paranoid loops my whole life. Anytime I smoked cannabis and I was in big environments full of people, I would probably spiral. And we went out to eat. We went to this restaurant. There were so many people there. And that was gone. I didn't worry about what people were thinking about me, which is fucking huge for me. I didn't worry about what I was thinking about them. I just felt so much love for the human species. And I've been craving this for so long. And it's powerful. And I'm so excited to see how it shapes my relationships and my life and my connections. And I want to bring you on with me and support you in also accessing more love in your being, in your life. So, how exactly can you silence this? So, this is what you're going to do. You're going to write out in a journal, and you're going to let this inner critic have a voice. Okay. You're just going to write it all out. What is it saying? You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You suck at this. You're a failure. You fucking blah, 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 blah. Let it write. Let it rip. And don't worry. It's not going to manifest more of it in your life. It's just giving it a voice. After you give it a voice, you're then going to write down the question. What are you afraid of? You're going to close your eyes. You're going to envision the inner critic standing in front of you. And you're going to ask it, what are you afraid of? And let it talk back to you. Okay? And when it speaks to you and it tells you what it's afraid of, then you're going to be like, okay, if blank happens, whatever it's afraid of, then what? And then keep asking it, then what? Then what? Then what? Then what? Keep writing it down. What is the story? Okay, what is the story? And then you're going to go into your body and you're going to feel that energy, that story. How does it feel in your body to carry that story? Where do you feel it? And if you're a little bit numb, then that's okay. This is where we got to do the work. We got to create more safety in your body. We got to regulate your nervous system to be able to feel this more. If it's hard for you to sit and actually feel it, I get it. That's why sometimes having a safe space and someone like myself to support you is really fucking powerful. So just know I'm here for you. But you're going to feel it in your body, and then you're going to ask that energy, how do you need to express? What do you need to say? What do you need to do? Do you need to fucking shake? Do you need to fucking breathe? Do you need to like jump up and down? Do you need to punch a pillow? Like, what do you need? And allow that energy to move. Be in it. Let it be fucking intense. Let yourself feel how heavy it feels to continue to carry this fucking story. That's how we let go. And then you're going to ask yourself, okay, what's beneath this? You're going to express whatever's beneath that. And then you're going to go beneath that and be like, what's beneath this? And you're going to express whatever's beneath that. And you're going to keep doing that, going into layers, moving, breathing until you access a piece of clarity. And you're going to have an answer there. And for you, it might be a huge breakthrough like what I had. Or it might be the next step of letting go of this inner critic. It might be you turning down the doubt just a little bit, which will give you some relief. And then once it starts to show up really intensely in your life again, okay, you're peeling back another layer, turn it down just a little bit. And it might show up a couple times. Listen, I've been doing this work for 5 fucking years. It takes 4 to 5 years to get your mind, body, and spirit in a place of true alignment. That's the work. It's fucking worth it though. But it's taken me 5 years to get to this place. And I'm sure there'll be another layer of this onion, or maybe I'm not even noticing what other pieces of judgment will come in, and I will go into it and I will move through it. So you're going to write it down. What are you afraid of? If this happens, then what? Let it talk to you. Then what? Then what? Then what? What is the story it's holding on to? What is the belief it's holding on to? Put it in your body. How does it feel? Not put it in your body, but welcome it into your body. How does it feel to hold on to this story? How does it feel to hold on to this belief? And then you're going to allow that energy to move. How do you need to move? How do you need to express? Get intense. And then go layers and layers and layers and layers beneath and access your truth. Takes practice, takes devotion, and also takes a body that feels safe enough to go that deep. So just know there's many different things here. If you can't access that level of depth within you, that's okay. Like I said, it takes practice, takes devotion. I had to sit in the student role with my life coach who supported me to access the deepest parts of myself first before I can actually lead myself through that. But try your best and see how it goes. See what comes up. It might be very fucking powerful what type of clarity comes through when it comes to this inner critic and this judger. that lives inside of you. So I hope that this inspires you to start silencing this inner critic and to start feeling more connection and more truth. I'm so excited to continue to share my story on how this continues to play out. So excited to feel way more connected, way more in my expression, way more less giving of fucks. Because let me tell you, man, as human beings, we give way too many fucks because we're always judging and criticizing. And man, think about how much energy that's like draining from you, where you can't even be in front of a person and have a true conversation because your mind is just filtering judgment and criticism about yourself and about the person. Blah, 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 blah. Like you're not present. It takes you out of the present moment. And I used to think that judgment was just discernment of like what energies align with me and what energies don't. And there's a huge difference between discernment and judgment. Discernment comes from love. Okay. It doesn't make you brace. It doesn't make you feel, ugh. Judgment makes you feel contracted and icky and gross. Discernment is from a place of love, a place of knowing yourself so deeply that you're discerning, like, oh, yeah, you know, what this person said, I completely honor. It doesn't really align with my truth, but I honor this person. I still love this person. I can still see this person. I can still hear this person, not feel threatened by what they're saying, making it a threat about you. Just being so rooted in who you are that you can discern what's for you and what's not for you. And that's a way more chill energy than judgment. You're constantly judging. Oh, that person looks like this. Oh, that person looks like that. What are they wearing? Blah, 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 blah. And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're doing the same shit. This is really creating a lot of suffering in your relationships that you might not even notice. It's creating a lot of scarcity in your business. If you have a business, it's creating lack of connection. It's creating lack of intimacy with life. You're here to experience the aliveness of this life. So do the fucking work. And if you need support, I'm here. I'm actually opening up a couple of slots for my one-on-one coaching. And I know it's the holidays, so I do have some holiday specials going on. So just go ahead and click the link below to apply. And we can talk all about what different specials I have going on. And I would love to just support you. And our first call can just be a session where you understand a little bit more of this work, no pressure. And then if you feel like it's beneficial for your life, we can move forward and see what that looks like. But I'm super excited to keep sharing this type of medicine with the world. And also, if you are interested in doing this work in a really intensive, powerful fucking way where you're vacationing and adventuring and doing the work and aligning to your truest, most fucking amazing self, then you're probably going to want to come to the Wildly Liberated Retreat happening in January of 2026. Name a better way to start the year. Name a better fucking Christmas gift for yourself. Like, come on, to start the year with personal development and growth and taking care of your mental and emotional health and setting intentions for the year ahead in Costa Rica. Girl, there ain't nothing better than that. I don't know about you, but that's the kind of Christmas gift I would want. And that's the kind of Christmas gift that women who are deeply devoted to this path and just so excited to grow would definitely invest in. So that's you. I'm inspiring you and inviting you in. So you can also find the link for that below. Same thing. Well, you'll apply, we'll do a call, see if it's a good fit, and then we'll go from there. And then you can find all my little goodies below as well. My no bullshit guide to feminine energy. And that's it. All right, my love. Hopefully you're having a beautiful day or night, wherever you are at. And last but not least, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, leave a review. It would really, really support me. It would really be just so heartwarming to have support in that way, because sometimes as an entrepreneur, you're just kind of talking to a void. You're not really getting any feedback. And it's so nice to get feedback and to get love and support from others. So if you listen this far, please, please, please let me know how it went. Let me know what you feel, and make sure you write the steps and do the little homework to start connecting and silencing, start connecting to yourself and silencing that inner critic. All right. I love you. Mwah. See you in the next video, in the next episode. Bye-bye.